Oh, fam. Yes, the Bengals are playing tonight against the Browns.
Oh,
Baker Mayfield goes all the way down because Joe Burrow, you know how he's gonna do. What it do? What it do?
if the Browns look anything like they looked last week when the Ravens played them, you'll be fine.
Oh, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. We got a couple injuries, but we're gonna be fine. I know that.
That was rough on their end last week.
The shade.
It was. I mean, it was what 6-30, 31.
It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But one thing I do know to be true is Brian and I are gonna have a little bit of trouble coming up.
No, we're not.
The next game after this is the Eagles against the Bengals.
We're not gonna have any trouble at all.
You know, it's gonna be a house divided. So I don't know.
Wait, that needs to be a real office pool for that game.
Yeah.
We're gonna put money on the Eagles. I mean, we have to give points. I
definitely am putting my money on the Eagles, though. I'm sorry.
I mean, of course.
Here's the deal. If I have to hear about this anymore, Carson Wentz is not a Super Bowl winning quarterback. It's the truth, though, right? He was on the team. Absolutely. You know, it's always nice to be on a team that wins the Super Bowl.
He won like 13.
But you traded. I
can't with this guy.
I love that he came in like that. You traded your Super Bowl winning quarterback, Nick Foles.
He was a backup in the second. Like he was a backup in Jacksonville.
Maybe the mistake was that he was backup. Maybe that's all I'm saying.
Carson won 13 games that year. He was an MVP.
That's great, but he didn't win the one that counted. Guess what? Lots of teams win all the games before the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Well, let's start with this. The Bengals are going to start by winning 13 games before you can talk to us about our problems at quarterback. So you win 13 games, and then you can see me about the problems with 13 game wins.
I'm going to ask. I'm not being shady. I'm asking a legitimate question because I don't follow football if it's not the Ravens. Have the Bengals ever won a Super Bowl? I'm legitimately asking.
I think so.
90s, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the Icky Woods kind of
Boomer
Esiason era.
Yeah. One time?
Yeah.
One time.
I mean, this could be your year, you know?
The Bengals have been good a lot of years, though. They've been good a lot of years.
They've been good a lot of years. And I will say that this year, the owner, Mike Brown, today is the first game he's ever going to miss in his entire life since his father started the Browns and the Bengals.
Could we just talk about
828 games straight he's ever missed? He's never missed.
That's impressive.
Maybe this will be good luck for them.
That's what I'm talking about.
IP Professor Evans out there, strong Eagles fan in Twitterville. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching the show.
I love that they wrote that Joe Burrow with a burrow, like those Louisianans.
Candace, did you hear the news about your favorite retailer?
Right. My favorite retailer? Target?
Century 21.
Oh, Century 21. Girl, I dropped it here.
But where there'll be sales, though. Because if there are sales...
Oh, we thought about flying right down. Just going to
but we're going to fly down in 2 weeks. So
I'm thinking about Miami. There's a Century in New York, and I was like, I got to be there anyway sometime soon. So,
yeah, you know they're not going to restock, so now's the time.
And so, for context who don't know what we're talking about, unfortunately, Century 21, this massive retailer of basically like TJ Maxx, but for quasi luxury.
Nice stuff.
They filed for bankruptcy last week, and they're closing all of their stores. They're trying to do some sort of restructuring thing behind the scenes, but.
Oh, are they trying to save themselves?
Oh, I don't know how public that is, actually.
What? What you know?
Behind the scenes.
This is live TV.
You know, anybody who says anything.
I've got lawyer friends, you know, who fortunately get to work on some their workout and bankruptcy people. But yep, I saw. Well, here's the thing, though. I actually struggle to believe that the business interruption insurance debacle is the real reason why they're falling apart. I don't believe that that's true.
App Builder.
Yeah, the person, App Builder Off just said something about that.
Yeah, that's the story that they're telling people, but it sounds like they were in not so great of a place financially in terms of debt beforehand.
I believe that. I mean, the things I've purchased there, like when you can get an $850 dress, and I know they're $850 because I've seen them in the actual store for like $120. Like,
right.
And I can't afford like Louboutins. Like, I can't afford that, but I have some from Century 21.
Right.
Yeah, there's just no way. Oh, hey, Curtis Pope. What's up?
All right. It sounds like Marlon is ready for us to start the show. So let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Are you ready, Candace? Oh, okay.
I know. I love these. We're a company and a venture capital firm that invests in companies run by women and minorities, particularly when they're away from the coast. I'm very, very focused on the Midwest. You are watching live the first pitch competition on Twitch, where you, the viewer, have an opportunity to vote for companies you like best.
So every episode, we have 3 judges, plus you, the audience. You also get to judge each pitch. After each presentation, you'll see a cute little box pop up with a Twitter link for you to vote for if you would invest in the company yourselves.
During round 1, we watched as the startups presented their pitch deck in 5 minutes or less. Then the judges began their Q&A. After we selected viewer-submitted questions for the founders to answer, in the end, the audience and judges had the opportunity to vote in the poll below for the company they like best.
Candace, do you mind if we start?
Oh, sure. Sorry.
I love that. Kenneth, do you mind if we start?
What?
You know when Kenneth says, "Do you mind if we start?" I like, or you know, I like that part. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's past. It's gone. So getting in the way. Go ahead.
All right. So good evening, everyone. Welcome back. We are here for season 3, episode 3 of Twitch Pitch. It is the first pitch competition hosted on Twitch, brought to you by us here at Lightship Capital. So a quick note about the show. Every season, we have 12 companies that compete, 2 every episode head-to-head for the top slot, where the winner wins a grand prize of $10,000 and some other cool prizes like $100,000 of AWS credits and maybe some other fun things. On our show, you have our leading team of judges. It also reflects our investment team here at Lightship. I'm Lexi. I lead the investment team, and I love health tech and healthcare. We have Brian here. Brian is an expert in all things AI, machine learning, and computer vision, and he is a general partner here at the fund. And we have Candace. She is the founder and executive director and chairwoman of the Hillman Accelerator. She's also a GP here at Lightship and is an expert in all things e-commerce and CPG. So that's our main team here. We have some really great sponsors every season, but this season the show is brought to you by the Hillman Accelerator. Hillman is the first accelerator in the Midwest focused on underrepresented founders based in Cincinnati, Ohio. In addition, we have the Ohio Third Frontier. The Ohio Third Frontier, also known as OTF, is a tech-based economic development incentive group and a part of the larger Ohio Development Services Agency. They're committed to transforming the state's economy through the accelerated growth of diverse startups and early-stage tech companies. In addition, we have AWS as a sponsor, Amazon Web Services. They offer reliable, scalable, and inexpensive cloud computing services. It's free to join, pay for only what you need to use. In addition, we have a new sponsor this season, AARP Innovation Labs. They accelerate the innovation ecosystem by working with startups, accelerators, and the innovation economy to empower people to choose how they live as they age. So this season, thanks to our sponsors, AARP, the season is focused on all things health and wellness. And on this episode in particular, we have a very special guest from AARP. Her name is Jacqueline, and she is going to come on and say a few things to the audience.
How fun.
Exciting. What's up? You made it.
Hello. I don't know if I've ever seen casual Jacqueline. I'm super excited about this.
Casual Jacqueline is absolutely a thing.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Well, good evening. Good evening. I just wanted to jump on and say hello to everyone. It's a pleasure to support. We are always on the hunt for some of the best and brightest startups, specifically in the fintech and health tech space. And so we're excited to see what this season of the pitch competitions brings to fruition. Of course, at AARP Innovation Labs, just as Lexi described, we're looking for some of the best and brightest startups that coalesce in the fintech and health tech space. And we do that work by scouring the country and sometimes the world looking for startups. We do that work through pitch competitions, accelerator relationships, and challenges. But tonight we are simply here to support, to ensure that we continue to support a robust health tech ecosystem, and of course, to open the door to support startups that are in the health tech space. So good evening, everyone. We're looking forward to a dynamic pitch session, and we'll see you on the other side.
Casual you is just as cool as the non-casual.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for supporting Jacqueline.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks again, Jacqueline. That was fantastic. A quick run of the show for everyone here and our contestants behind the scenes. Every episode, we are going to start with your why. So you have 60 seconds to tell us about you. You as a person, why you started the company, and then we roll your 5-minute pitch, and then afterwards we bring you back on for a question and answer portion of the show. Here for the Q&A, audience members, we encourage you to ask questions as well. At any time during the pitch, feel free to type in a question in the comment box below, wherever you're watching from. And after that, we also invite you to vote for the companies that you would invest in. So just like our investment committee is structured, Candace gets 2 votes, I get a vote, Brian gets a vote, and you, the audience, also get a vote for the company that you would want to invest in. This season, all of our voting is done via text. You'll see a number pop up below at the end of the pitch, and you can vote that way through that new channel. So as a reminder for the voting, please vote through the phone number you'll see below. Don't type your vote in the comment box. And with that, I think we are ready to go. Our first company up today is Patientory, and we will bring Krissa on and get started with the show.
Hi,
Hey,
guys.
Krista. How's it going?
Hi, Krista.
Good. Calling in from rainy Atlanta.
The A. So you've heard how this goes. We want to spend a little minute here learning more about you as opposed to the business. So tell us a little bit about your why and what brings you here.
Absolutely. So I've been in healthcare for over 15 years. I was actually that one in high school that shadowed physicians during my summer holidays and free time, which eventually spurred my growth into the healthcare administration field, later on in health IT consultant, and in the digital healthcare startup world. So that was my passion and trajectory for starting Patientory, as well as, willing to serve and really see impact in underserved areas and communities. And I also write as a contributor for Forbes on innovative and emerging digital healthcare technology. I'm originally was born in Jamaica, grew up in New York City, and now I live in Atlanta. So really excited to share Patientory with you guys and all the innovative work that we've been doing.
You've already got a friend in Lexi. She's always Team Jamaica.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Awesome. All right, let's do the pitch.
Hello, I'm Krissa McFarlane, and I'm the founder and CEO of Patientory. At Patientory, we are empowering our end users with actionable insights to their health data to improve outcomes while decreasing healthcare costs. We started our company in order to tackle the growing epidemic of chronic diseases in the United States, coupled with the lack of healthcare data interoperability. Fast forward to today, the need for pervasive testing before we can fully reopen the economy is one of the highest priorities at the moment. But before we can open the economy again, once the testing is complete, a whole new set of problems emerge. Where are millions of daily test results stored? Do we really want Apple or Google to have that much personal data in a central repository? We've been working on the answers to these questions for over 3 years while targeting chronic diseases. Our company is the founding member of the Patientory Matrix HIPAA-compliant, blockchain-enabled health information exchange and storage network that raised over $7 million in a token sale and currently integrating over 10,000 hospital electronic medical records in the United States, representing over 200 million American electronic medical records, which is approximately 90% of the US population. Our software, both enterprise and consumer, which runs on this network, also aggregates data from wearable and IoT devices to provide intelligence around social and economic determinants of health risk for population health management. We are a B2B2C business model, and we sell directly via sales channels, our enterprise SaaS platform, to employer and health industry organizations, and receive consumer revenue through our personalized care plan subscription. Patientory also provides a real-time COVID-19 patient tracking and symptom reporting tool with a self-inspection quiz that verifies a patient's COVID-19 testing status and alerts them if they have been in the vicinity of someone who has the virus. This is easily and securely shareable with telehealth providers, healthcare reporting agencies via the blockchain network. My team and I are digital health experts with collectively over 40 years experience in this industry, and we're on a mission as pioneers in the blockchain and healthcare emergent industry to improve the global healthcare IT infrastructure for advanced chronic disease outcomes, and most recently, improve pandemic patient management outcomes. With over 13 patents pending, we provide data intelligence through the integration of disparate legacy systems and a secure decentralized network providing value to governments charged with public health, employers that need to get their workforce safely back to work, and people who want to live their lives. We're differentiated from other solutions in that we've been able to solve the health IT interoperability issue with blockchain, giving us the ability to improve enhanced proprietary intelligence. I sit on the HIMSS interoperability committee and serve as a digital influencer as a result of this. We founded Patientory back in 2015 with over 45,000 subscribers and over 2 million in grants to address the growing epidemic, not knowing that we would use the same technology to pivot to a global pandemic at scale. Our first investors believe in our vision include Boomtown Health Tech Accelerator and the Colorado Permanente Medical Group. Our partners who continue to support us virtually include the Atlanta Tech Village, the fourth largest startup ecosystem in our country, the Oregon Enterprise Blockchain Venture Studio, and the Georgia State Department of Economic Development. We've also recently been approved for a National Science Foundation SBIR grant, which will continue to give us the ability to scale our solution in the marketplace. I would like for you all to join me in making healthcare more transparent and accessible. Feel free to sign up for our updates on patientory.com. Thank you.
All right, shall we bring her back?
Hi.
Hello again.
Hi again.
Good pitch. Very good pitch.
Thank you.
Feels very, very well-rounded. Candace, do you want to go first?
No, I'm gonna let somebody else go first.
All right. She always goes first. That's why we have to ask. You know?
But when you ask, I don't want to go. Go ahead.
Exactly. So I want to talk to you a little bit about all the backing you've had between kind of token sales. It seems like we're seeing more and more when people have a large crowd behind them. It helps platforms like this to be successful? So one, is that part of your strategy? And two, if that got you here, what strategy is going to get you to the next stage where lots and lots and lots of people are using the platform?
Yeah. So beginning with, I guess, in the inception, at the beginning, people weren't understanding of what we were doing because, this is new technology. It's an emergent space. So we actually decided to go out and find our champions, our supporters, who were actually in the industry and saw the need. Either from the technical side or from the healthcare side. A lot of people with chronic diseases. We had previous, military personnel who had a hard time just navigating their health records, really support us in the inception of the company. So we were able to build a community around that need. Our communities live on social media. We have a very vibrant Slack group and Telegram community there as well, which really helped to shape our identity in this space. And what we've seen is, that has really helped us in really, not only getting a following, but, getting in front of a lot of these larger institutions. As we know, healthcare is pretty much slow to change. In that now we're working with a couple of organizations, from the accelerator and the venture studios to programs which offer us direct access to a lot of these healthcare organizations that are looking to pilot and innovate technology. So I would say that's our next phase. We have actually completed a peer review journal, which adds to that validation with Moda Health, which is a top tier insurance company. So we've gotten international recognition for that journal piece, which would help to that commercialization and, of course, mass adoption of the technology.
And I think one of the kind of things that you couldn't miss is you started the company well before COVID was a household name, right, globally. But then it was like the right tool to solve that problem. Can you talk about that journey and how you were prepared for it this time?
Yeah, absolutely. So, part of it is, we were able to, start a nonprofit to kind of help, because when we went to the senior C-suite, they were like, we don't know what this is. So we started a nonprofit to help bridge the gap between emerging tech and health AT in industry in the space. Back in February, late February, when, the basically country started to shut down, we were like, oh my God, like, how is this going to look for our platform? It's already a challenge in the space to really get healthcare to adopt new technologies. But we saw with the partnerships and the relationships with the Georgia Economic Development Corporation, that's out of Metro Atlanta Chamber, and our affiliations with a lot of the government entities, the United Nations, we were able to really learn how to integrate a lot of those features into the app, but also have added, a distribution revenue stream to our company in terms of distributing PPE at the time. So I think because we had created such, great partnerships with organizations that you wouldn't really want to partner with as an early stage company. We were able to rise to the top there and be able to address this situation, which kind of, helped, is part of our value proposition.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. I think she's on mute.
Yeah.
You're muted.
It's been one heck of a day, girlfriend. So I'm sorry. So when you think about your suite of products between consumer and enterprise and kind of global pharma with some of this COVID, stuff mixed in, what's the mix in percentage that you're kind of what's the mix within the company? So what part of it is consumer, what part is enterprise, and what part is kind of like the global pharma play?
Yeah, absolutely. Just going back to the origin of the company, when I started it, it was really from my frustrations with not having access to my health data, helping to build previously a telemedicine company that was later acquired, but seeing, on the front end, patients not having easily access to their data, nor the providers, our mission is really putting the patient back in the center of the healthcare equation. So we would say that, that consumer product is majority, about 45% of what we do. But we do see, as part of healthcare, it's patient adherence. And with patient adherence really comes the coordination between providers, caretakers, and insurance, which lends to the enterprise platform, which is, I would say, another 35% of what we do, and the remaining, more or less the distribution.
So I'm a relatively healthy person. What's the persona of your typical consumer? And we'll go into enterprise after this, but what is that person like?
Yeah, so as we know, you start small but think big. So our go-to-market strategy is currently focused on chronic disease patients, as they're, the most utilized patient group within the healthcare system, as well as, the most patient group that creates the most data, so to speak, because they're seeing multiple providers and, for their different conditions. So that is our go-to-market strategy. However, we do see the need for, healthier populations to use it as well, in terms of maximizing their health, because now you're even more empowered to live a healthier lifestyle and, de-risk yourselves or from actually, down the line, getting the chronic disease by being empowered with your health data. So that's part of what we do with the subscription plan is you have your healthcare information. We're using these advanced analytics to really create a care treatment profile that will be best suited for you, so that you're maximizing your health on a daily basis.
And I'll ask one thing. I'm sorry to monopolize this conversation. So on the enterprise side, who are you selling to? What's that typical person like? What's their role typically?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, we really classify ourselves as a pop health solution. We're targeting primarily the chief medical officer or the chief information officer, and oftentimes the CTO. We've seen in the past 18 months or so, the CFO really take precedence in these conversations as well, as the healthcare system moves from, that fee-for-service to more value-based. So they're looking at ways where, they can optimize and decrease their costs with software vendors, but also reimbursement models. How are their patients improving? That's one of the biggest priorities to date. So we see this as really something that, across the board, not only the CMO, but also the CFO can benefit from.
Perfect. Thank you.
And before I ask my question, I just want to remind everyone, if you have questions, please write them in the comment section, and we'll get to those in just a few moments. So Krissa, my questions are the how after Candace's questions. So how are you attracting the consumer? What's the plan there? And then what's the strategy for attracting the enterprise clients who on your team really has the network and expertise to handle that?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, and we were able to, preview in the early days, really build up that community through the token, which we leverage. Prior to COVID, we were doing, trade shows and exhibitions, which really helped. We actually, through that organization, the association, have the partnership with Dubai City Government. So we host an annual Block Health Summit that attracts over 6,000 attendees annually. So that has been a great marketing push in attracting both enterprise and consumers. Now, as we go digitally, we're looking to onboard, more marketing resources to really create those user stories and really push the product out there. Before that, we haven't really used that much marketing dollars. It's been all more or less organic. So that would be one of our goals. I am also a thought leader in the space. I mentioned writing for Forbes and other notable publications, and sitting on the HIMSS Interoperability Committee. So that's one of the largest global health IT organization. And then I have, my marketing team, as well as my CTO, who also can attract the developer community.
And do you know what's the sales cycle look like on the enterprise side? And then what is kind of onboarding look like for them?
Enterprise it's typically 8 to 12 months, and that's pretty more or less short end of it for health system. And then because again, this is we're looking at emerging tech, we normally do a 90-day pilot or trial with that enterprise, where we can actually get a case study out of that, which then would lend to that commercialization SaaS model license fee that I mentioned in the pitch.
Thank you. I see one question here. We'll start there. Oh, it's Dr. Damien. Awesome. So Dr. Damien wants to know, he says, definitely understand the appeal from the consumer standpoint, and from the physician side, it's a challenge to receive patient information from outside facilities in real time. What's your approach to attract hospitals and EMR businesses to encourage adoption? And how can you ensure truly accurate patient records or PDF copies of records available via the platform?
Great. Yeah. So we actually, and part of our really differentiation but proprietary tech that we've created is that, with the P2 matrix, that blockchain network that I described, where it's not necessarily PDF, where we're using standards in the space for healthcare interoperability, HL7 and FHIR, to normalize different data sets. So, once a patient is subscribed to our platform, they're pulling in their data electronically to those standards that we've developed on our platform.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. We're going to talk behind your back after this.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She's really smart. That's my first feedback.
That's my initial feedback is wow. Like she's really built something substantial. That may be the most technical company we've had on the show so far, in my opinion.
There's a lot of pieces.
I mean, we've also seen people make t-shirts out of milk. So that one was technical.
That was fairly technical. And some of the AR stuff is pretty technical too. But yeah, I mean, this got a lot of different layers, and they're all different. Blockchain is one technology. Anything that's HIPAA compliance, it's different. Interoperability is a whole area of work. So she seems to be doing all those things and pretty well too.
I mean, I love IP. She's got 13 patents pending currently. She is a veteran founder with an exit under her belt. She didn't talk about it very much, but she does have an all-star team behind her. She's seen as someone who knows what she's talking about in this space. She clearly actually does know what she's talking about in this space. I think even if this company has some, twists and pivots along the way, it's going to be a win, because this is the right way to build it. She's doing it the right way.
Yeah, there are definitely.
Now, go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, there are definitely things that I think are extra, some nonprofit stuff, some things that could potentially be some distractions, but I think that she'll figure those out as time goes on. And this is just iteration, right? You just start to get rid of the other little things and focus on the big things, and all companies get better over time.
Do we know kind of general revenue? Like, is revenue good, bad, non-existent at all, Lexi?
I don't remember, but if she feels comfortable typing it in the private chat, I'm sure she'll do that.
Okay, cool. And we can all talk about it later. Yeah, that's
I feel like we
I don't
generally
know.
get revenue on the show.
Yeah, it's no one's business, but I'm not going to get into due diligence on this chat today, but yeah, that's I mean, impressive founder. Obviously, to vet this particular company, I personally would need to bring in some subject matter experts because I'd be out a little bit over my skis here. But on the surface, this makes a ton of sense, and it seems necessary. I guess my question is, really and truly, is who does this company exit to? Because there are some kind of issues that she's trying to solve for with this particular company. And as I think of who she would exit to, they're kind of like bigger players that are have issues with the privacy issues. So that's my initial thought. Great founder, though.
Yeah. Maybe Marlon can highlight IP Professor Evans' point about I'm an IP attorney and professor, and I'm impressed with the portfolio. So it's a lot. It's a lot when you've got 13 patents. If you got folks that are IP attorneys and professors saying it's pretty good.
And while we're here, if you're interested in voting for Patientory, as a reminder, we're doing texting voting this season. So to vote for Patientory, text the number 5 to 203-408-6432. Once again, that's 5 to 203-408-6432.
Oh, I forgot to do the 5 thing. We're supposed to put our hands up. 5.
Yeah, $5.
$5
foot long.
Next time, we'll do a better job. All right. Shall we move on?
All right. So
yes.
While we're giving the audience a chance to finish up their voting, we're going to see a short commercial break from our friends at AARP.
We are AARP Innovation Labs, the place where leaders with bold ideas and visionary entrepreneurs meet to solve the most prevalent problems in society. We want to ignite a future where aging well is the norm. Our work with startups accelerates product and service solutions that generate significant impact in the community we serve.
Awesome.
They're just so concise over there. Just like
Keep
quick.
it real. Yeah, real
They
happy.
give all the info very quickly. I love it.
I couldn't check the weather on my phone.
And so now we're going to bring on our second contestant of the evening. Let's bring on Erin Carpenter from Nude Barre.
Hello.
Erin, what's
Hi,
up?
everybody. How are you today?
Thanks for
Pretty
joining
good.
us.
Oh, well.
Where
So
are you
Erin,
going?
60
I'm
seconds.
okay. I am Erin Carpenter. I live in New York City, and my company is Nude Barre, where we make skin tone intimates and hosiery that represent the diverse world that we live in. And I personally started this company based on various embarrassing moments and frustrating moments that I had as a professional dancer and commercial actress, where I was always required to have flesh tone or nude tights, panties, bras, underwear, and sometimes dance shoes. But when you go to stores and you ask for nude, they typically show you options that come in beige, and I'm definitely not beige. So I would have to dye my tights every week. I would have to put makeup foundation on my shoes, which in the industry is called pancaking. And this is just an industry norm that artists do on a weekly basis. And so I decided to change that with my company Nude Barre, and really to allow women to feel seen and beautiful on the market. Because if their shade isn't represented, then what does that say about you as a beautiful person in the world and the standard of beauty? So that's me.
With 6 seconds to go. Nice. So one more question for you, just a quick follow-up.
Of course.
About the why, about the kind of who you are, the things that are not about the business, but just about you.
Mm-hmm.
What is your why in life?
Yeah, so my why in life, I guess as it pertains to this, is I'm really motivated by really changing the way that women feel about themselves in various positive ways. So outside of being a professional dancer, I've also been in the fitness industry and a fitness teacher. So really allowing women to love their bodies and be proud of their bodies. And so that really translates in this business as well, where I want to make different skin tones that represent, women of various shades, like so. And then also we go from children's sizes to adult plus size. So it's also this, empowerment of your body, your shape, your size, and allowing you to just love yourself as you are. I'm also a mom of a this week turned 2-year-old. So, she's a brown girl, and I want her to also feel empowered as she's growing up and to be able to have products that represent her as well for her beautiful skin.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's see the pitch.
Hi, everyone. My name is Erin Carpenter. I am the founder of Nude Barre, where we make skin-toned intimates and hosiery to represent the diverse world that we live in. Nude Barre comes in 12 beautiful shades of nude, durable enough for the active woman, and stylish enough for everyday life. And so I personally started Nude Barre based on some frustrating moments that I had as a professional dancer and a commercial actress, where here I am as a Nick City dancer performing at Madison Square Garden. And one of the important parts of my uniform was to have nude underwear, tights, panties, and bras to match my skin tone. But when you go to a store and you ask for nude options, they only have beige, and I'm definitely not beige, right? So I would have to dye my tights and undergarments to match my skin on a weekly basis to be in uniform. And I was often complaining to women in other industries about this issue, like bankers and lawyers and doctors, and they were frustrated as well, because if they wanted to wear a white blouse of some sort, you can't just wear any color bra underneath because it'll show through your clothing. And Nude Barre is a solution. So we go from fair, medium, and deeper or darker skin tones. We also go from children's sizes to adult plus size. We're all about inclusion and loving the skin and body that you are in. We make it really easy to shop our shades online using our color matching technology, the Nude Meter, where you answer a few quiz questions like, are you tan today? What are the colors of the veins inside of your wrist? And you upload a selfie. And then you get your results based on seasonality. So winter season versus summer season when you might be more tan. We currently make fishnets, opaque tights, seamless thongs. We have a bralette that's ready to roll out. And we plan to expand into other verticals like shapewear and various bra and panty styles. We're currently at $6K in monthly revenue. Our business model to date is 74% direct to consumer, and then we sell to retail stores like lingerie and fashion stores. And we have a repeat customer rate of 34%. Our unit economics are $3.50 to $5 to make the product landed. And then our best-selling product sells at $33 per pair. We currently have about 6,000 customers to date. Average cart size is close to $55, and our CAC over the last 30 days is around $24. But generally, I've built Nude Barre pretty organically through celebrity endorsements. So Wendy Williams was one of our first celebrity customers, and what's awesome about her is she posts on social what she's wearing daily on her show, tagging all the brands from head to toe, and then she also posts on her website with links to the different brands' websites of what she's worn. From there, we were able to get Tyra Banks as a customer, Laverne Cox, and Serena Williams actually found us on Instagram and then became an investor in Nude Barre in 2019. We've also tested lower level influencers as well, and we're seeing some traction there as well. Our go-to-market strategy are paid ads, press opportunities, celebrity endorsements, influencer marketing, and strategic partnerships. Nude Barre is focused on the $250 billion lingerie and intimates market globally. And here's our roadmap to 100 million in revenue. So it's really triggered by pricing, product extensions, and gaining new customers year over year. This is our team. And again, I'm Erin Carpenter, the founder of Nude Barre, where we make skin tone intimates and hosiery to represent the diverse world that we live in. Thank you.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's bring her on back. It was like just one of those like.
And this is what I do, and I do it really well.
The deck had everything. The deck solves like every question. It's really, really impressive.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you know your numbers kind of inside and out. So I guess I'll ask some questions around kind of like how you've adjusted from COVID. I'm going to make some general assumptions that maybe this product is created and made overseas. So did you have any issues with kind of supply chain as you've dealt with the last few months?
Yeah, so definitely supply chain is definitely challenging in these times. But the timing has really been interesting because when we went into shutdown, one of our manufacturers that's in China, they were coming out of quarantine or shutdown. So with that, when we were kind of like, what is happening in the world, we were able to put in some money to manufacture things and really focus on our direct to consumer side of the business. So it's been moving along fairly smoothly, if you will. But if we would have been manufacturing, let's say in January and February when China was in their shutdown, then that's where things would have been tricky. So the timing for us has been fine and been okay. But from a, I guess a sales perspective and selling product perspective, because most of our business is direct to consumer, we've just continued doing as much push as we can and building brand awareness and things of that sort.
How do you get to 100K a month in revenue?
Yeah, so we might hit that this month, actually. Right now, we are targeting, we're on track to hit 50K, but we have a big promo that's happening right now that might allow us to hit 100K. And so how we're looking at getting to 100,000 and MRR is going to be triggered by our paid ads that we have running right now and getting our spend up. Right now, our customer acquisition cost is pretty low. We're still able to make a profit off of it, and we're kind of treating this strategy like a content building strategy. So we're constantly funneling in new content and seeing what really speaks to our audience. So it's really, for us, it's about the storytelling. Like, the problem is that people have to dye their tights. That's pretty ridiculous. And we showcase that, and we're starting to get a big reaction from those videos, which are really translating into a little bit of cash for us. So between the press opportunities that we have, like, we're getting tons of inbound of people wanting to, feature Black female founders in their publications. Like, we've been in Cosmo over the past couple of months. We've been in Vogue, and then we were on Good Morning America this morning. So in combination with continuing all of those things and moving, all of that press, along, and the paid ads, combined, in addition to, we have this omni-channel approach of being in retail stores. So we have a little over 25K in purchase orders that are outstanding right now that we're, manufacturing and trying to fulfill as quickly as possible. So the combination of all of that is going to get us quickly to the 100K in monthly revenue.
Erin, yeah, I'm going to let somebody else ask questions, but I have nothing else. Go ahead, Brian.
I had 4 when she started talking, and I have 1 now. Like, that's how it's going tonight. So my question is, you're it seems like you're really, really good at finding your customer online. And they're at this stage of a business, almost like 2 strategies. You could go deeper on the people that you're looking for, right? You just pull more of them out, right? Or you can broaden the net to adjacent cohorts. So how are you thinking about growing your audience? Are there just more of your folks, and if you just more spend pulls them out, or are you thinking about broadening the group?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So, first, there's 2 cohorts that we're essentially focusing on, and one is an entertainer, athlete, dancer, and so forth. And then majority of our customers, about 60% of them, are actually everyday women. And so now we're trying to break that down and break that out, and we're focusing on this B2B strategy currently, which is flight attendants, and how can we get all the flight attendants to wear our tights, and what is the sell behind that? In addition to all the Broadway shows, we sell to some of the Broadway shows, and how can we get all the Broadway shows when Broadway comes back? TV production, so forth, athletes. And so we're building out all these cohorts, which is a big part of our day-to-day planning, and how we want to focus on the different go-to-market strategies versus these 2 buckets being kind of vague, if you will, of entertainer, athlete, and everyday woman. Like, who is the everyday woman? How can we break her down, in terms of the different cohorts, like you were suggesting? So that is a big part of our focus right now as a team to break that up.
Thank you.
Before I ask my question, as a reminder, if you have questions for Erin, please type them in the comments below, and we will get to those in just a moment. So to build on your answer there, Erin, are you looking at any of those new opportunities in a potential kind of B2B or enterprise strategy? So are you going to pursue the airlines? Are you going to pursue the military? Like, there are a lot of these other channels for you to sell into directly that, to attract those large groups of people in the uniform-ish / performer space.
Yeah, so we are. And how we're looking at this right now as a starting point is we're first building a community. And within that community, we're essentially doing these kind of mini interviews with various women in these different communities. So we did a interview with a stewardess for an airline, and we asked her a lot about, why does she buy our product? What does she like about it that's different from the products that she's already buying? And one thing that she shared with us that we didn't actually know was that when she goes on a 3-day trip, she brings about 8 to 9 pairs of tights for the 3-day trip because her tights snag on the push cart, and she's quickly running up and down the aisles. And these are just things that we didn't think about as the business. And so there's a really big opportunity for our product, which is really durable for the everyday woman. It lasts her 6 to maybe 12 months, depending on what she's doing in her life. And again, it's durable enough for athletes. It's kind of like athleisure for your underwear. So to be able to explain that to the airlines and having all of that information in our back pocket is really helpful for us to nail that sale, right? And so basically, we're just looking at these different communities that we're trying to build within our own community and just learning more about those customers so that we can go, to those different enterprises and have all the data points that we need to have to say, this is really why you need to buy our product. So absolutely.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. As a former Delta Airlines flight attendant.
Yes.
I can totally see and remember just how many times I had to change out my tights to the point where I started wearing compression tights because they just lasted so much longer, but they looked terrible, right?
Gosh.
And you can't really put them in nice shoes. So, yeah, major problem.
Yep.
Love it.
Thank you. I hope that answered your question, Lexi.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So we have a couple of audience questions for you. First, you have some just great audience love. People are just really excited about your question. But your first actual question is from Randy Mitchell. And Randy says, you mentioned having outstanding POs equating roughly 25K. Are those one-time orders or recurring? And if recurring, at what frequency?
Yeah, so some of them are first orders, so we hope that they will be recurring. And then some of them are repeat orders from stores that we already have relationships with. And then as far as frequency, one of our customers that's within the outstanding POs that we have, they actually order from us biweekly, or prior to COVID, pre-COVID. And so, during COVID, and I guess, as we're figuring out post, the frequency has been a little bit slower because they are actually the largest dance retailer in the US. So the entertainment industry is obviously very challenged right now with all that's going on, but typically they do order from us on a biweekly basis. And then as we, have these relationships with the newer purchase orders, we'll be on our sales hustle, trying to get them to order on a monthly basis, which is typically the norm for us.
Great. And Dr. Benjamin says he loves the concept and great execution. Who do you see as your competition as you grow to 100K in MRR or 200K in MRR? What are your broad concepts to protect your product and turn this into your moat?
So the concepts to protect the product and the moat from the direct to consumer side of things are really going to be focused around the technology. Our product is kind of like shopping makeup foundation, but products that you wear on your body. And so with that, that's really a unique way to shop and products. There hasn't been anyone in this category that has successfully executed on that challenge of color matching online for clothing. So we're really digging down and trying to tackle that and just, speak to our community to figure out how that we can fine tune the technology that we have. And so we really see this as our competitive advantage in the industry. And then additionally, a couple of things like our product, again, it's like athleisure for your underwear, but in the nude category. And currently there isn't anyone specifically doing that. There are some players that are just doing, traditional lingerie in the skin tone space. And then there are entertainment industry dance brands like your legacy brands that are kind of dabbling in the space a little bit. But what I would say is that majority of the brands that are dabbling into the space are not women of color led or Black led. So one, they actually don't have a really good pulse on what this consumer is looking for. And I think that's what has allowed us to build the following that we've had and really connect with our audience, because I literally had this problem. And when they hear my story or, I'm telling it in an ad or whatever it is, they're like, oh my gosh, finally, like that's literally the reaction we get. And even on our orders, people literally write a note saying, thank you for making this, or why didn't this exist 10, 20 years ago, whatever it was. And so I think because of that reaction and, me being a part of the brand as the founder and really leading the thoughts behind how the consumer feels, I think that makes a big difference versus a lot of underwear brands are led by white men, and so that is a very different perspective.
So speaking of underwear brands led by white men, Zealous Jr. wants to know, how are you thinking about the larger players in this space like Victoria's Secret? Are you looking to partner with them? Or are you worried about them entering the space and squeezing you out?
Yeah, so I'm not so much worried about them entering the space and squeezing me out. I think our focus right now is really around building a brand that people want to be a part of, that really believe in. So when you think of brands that famous people may build and people just want to buy it because of that, or just movements that happen that people want to be a part of, we're really treating this like a movement and really having a brand voice and a brand message that is along the lines of, we actually care about you, so far is really resonating with our audience. And we're digging deeper to, pull that out of our brand and where we want to stand in that place. So I think that in a lot of the brands, like we've seen this post Blackout Tuesday, where a lot of consumers were like, well, these big brands are saying Black Lives Matter, but do they really care about that? What does the leadership look like? And so people have been shifting to, I want to support brands that look like me, that care about me, that represent me. And that's really what is going to make the difference in terms of them squeezing us out or not.
And just one last question. You may have mentioned this before, but is there a subscription model for the D2C side?
Oh, that's a really good question. So there is not right now, but we are exploring that. So we're looking a lot at the data in terms of how frequent the customer shopping. Right now, she's shopping with us on average quarterly. Our best customers are shopping with us monthly. So we want to tap into our community and get feedback on, would they be interested in a subscription model versus would they be interested in just the option to order bundles. So if you get 5, you get this discount. If you get 10, you get this discount. We want to learn what the customer actually wants, subscription versus bundling.
Great, fantastic answer. Thank you, Aaron. To vote for Nude Barre, this time text the number 6, 2 hands now, to 203-408-6432. Once again, to vote for Nude Barre, text 6 to 203-408-6432. And since you're a D2C company, give one last plug, and where can people find you to buy your tights and underwear?
Yeah, so nudebarre.com, NUDEBARRE.com. But if you really want to get a good discount today on GMAdeals.com, everything is 50% off with free shipping. So if you ever wanted to get something, today is the day to do that. So highly recommend it. And thank you guys for having me. And on social, we're at Nude Barre.
I'm doing
GMAdeals.com.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm all about it. Okay.
And I'm sure that people could also probably go to YouTube and find your Good Morning America spot too, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right. Randy with the good questions. Knew me alum.
Love it. Again.
Wow. Talk about revenue growth. It's outrageous.
Outrageous. Yeah, I mean, really just only primary concerns, and Randy kind of talked about this in his question, is like, just, and maybe it wasn't Randy. No, it was Zach. Sorry, Zach. You're the smart one in the crew too. So Zach Ellis asked the question about, kind of creating a moat, and other people kind of entering the space. No, was it Dr. Benjamin? Now I'm back at it. How do you protect the product? So,
multiple people said that, yes.
Lots of people. So, like, how do you protect it? Because can other people make multicolored tights? And of course they can, but she's so right. People are connecting with founders and the story around companies right now. And I think they kind of always have. And it's just, I think that millennials and, Gen Z are just more interested in authenticity, and having things built by them or built for them by people that they can connect with. So I think she's absolutely right in that regard. And obviously in this moment in time, people are searching for that even more.
Yeah. Founder-led stories are always powerful. It's one of the few benefits a startup has over incumbents. And yeah, authenticity, she has that. Not all brands have that. Again, Victoria's Secret, it's good stuff, but it doesn't have an authentic brand story here. And then she seems razor focused on building brand, and brand is the moat. So as the brand goes from mini brand to actual brand, the moat gets wider and wider. People are buying because of her why and not for other reasons. So she'll get there.
Yeah, I don't worry about Victoria's Secret here. I don't worry about, Capezio for the dancer theater people out there. The one player that I would worry about here, who also has a great founder story and people also really resonate with, is I worry about Thinks and I worry about Spanx. That's really it, though. And I definitely see how she's positioning herself to really kind of combat some of those things with the tech. I'd also really like to explore with her kind of what other tech she can bring into the realm to really set her apart. Color matching is interesting, but it always makes me think of Plum Perfect. What's her name, Candace?
Right? Asma Ahmed.
Yeah,
Asma.
Because I think some of the foundation of that tech is fairly similar, but I really think there are some interesting opportunities, maybe in terms of fit or maybe even like thickness over time based on climate and like activity. Like you could maybe pick different materials based on what you're doing. Interesting opportunities there later down the line to kind of play with some higher tech to make it a little more defensible. But I love it.
We should connect her to Asma. Like Asma is expert in color matching.
She's an expert.
Completely.
All right, once again, everyone, if you'd like to vote for Nude Bar, text the number 6 this time to 203-408-6432. Once again, 6 to 203-408-6432. And that is the end of our show today. Thank you again for joining us here on episode 3, I believe, of season 3 of Twitch Pitch. Once again, thank you to our incredible one hand. Thank you to our incredible sponsor, Amazon Web Services.
If it's 2 hands, it's good. So it's good.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a good show. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you to Amazon Web Services. Thank you to the Hillman Accelerator. Thank you to Ohio to Frontier. And really a special extra thank you to AARP Innovation Labs and Jacqueline for joining us today. Thank you so much. We really appreciate everyone here. And we're going to close out. All right. Candace, would you like to do any behind the scenes today, Miss Football?
Yeah, I've got time. I think kickoff is not for another 10 minutes.
We would do no behind the scenes today, so you can get ready.
That would be great if I can get set up. We started really, really early today, so it's been a crazy week, and I cannot wait to share all the great news with people over the next kind of like 6 to 8 weeks. Keep your eyes peeled for all things Hillman Accelerator and Lightship Capital. We're coming for it all.
All of it.
The whole thing.
End right there. Perfect.
Yep.
Sounds great. After that.
Can't wait.
Sounds good. Good night, everybody.